I have to go intro the musical theater track and sing 3 numbers.
All right now.
It's impossible to pinpoint exactly where and when the idea of theater was created. But mankind has been telling stories since the very beginning. From drawings on cave walls to telling the story of a great hunt.
Aristotle once compared theater to the various rituals of ancient times, the priests and priestesses taking great care to perform these rituals with precision and high emotion. Their intended goal was to share these rituals called theama, and they performed these rituals in a theatron.
Ancient Greece is where the roots of what we call theater truly flourished. As Stella Adler said, the word theater comes from the Greeks. It means the seeing place. It is the place people come to see the truth about life and the social situation. Greece, where the words of Euripides and Sophocles first echoed through massive outdoor theaters.
Of all creatures that can feel and think, we women are the worst treated things alive.
Fate has terrible power. It cannot be escaped by wealth or war.
Oh, my homeland, goodbye. Goodbye to you, woman of home.
I ask this one thing. Let me go mad in my own way.
Never shall I see you again, nor shall I see myself in your eyes.
This the last time I'll speak with you ever?
Oh, my homeland, goodbye.
Let us move to ancient Rome, where both comedy and tragedy found its footing, where elaborate costumes, makeup, scenery, and machinery played an important part of every production.
Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it.
The day, water, sun, moon, night. I do not have to purchase these things with money.
Nothing is more wretched than a man conscious of guilt.
Most powerful is he in his own power.
Nothing is as it seems in a world where nothing is certain. The only thing certain is the secret violence that makes everything uncertain.
Next, we find ourselves in the medieval period, where religion and politics began to persevere, drastically changing how people viewed the theater. Any new works written during this time were called mystery plays, and usually revolved around the mysteries of the Bible. Theatrical buildings were not permitted in various parts of Europe during this period, but traveling players known as minstrels kept theater alive with acrobatics, juggling, puppets, and more.
All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. Ah, dost thou think we'd forget the Elizabethans? The one and only Shakespeare? I think not. There is nary a more globally renowned author than the Bard himself.
Be not afraid of greatness, for some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them.
The robbed that smiles steals something from the thief.
Many a good hanging prevents a bad marriage.
What's in a name, that which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet?
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear.
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. This above all to thine own self must be true, and it must follow as the night of the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man.
Destiny is not held within the stars, but in ourselves.
With mirth and laughter, let old wrinkles come.
My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Our journey is far from over, but now, let us take a deep dive into the terrific work that our group of actors have prepared for you today.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee! I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain. I see thee yet in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still! And on thy blade indulgent gouts of blood, which was not so before. There is no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a now that summons thee to heaven or to hell. Nobody got hurt. It's a big deal. Tina, I have been busting my butt to try and help pay for college next year. Do you know how hard it's been working all these hours and trying to keep my grades up? Now Mr. Reynolds will be watching me like a hawk. How can I make you see what you've done to me? Nobody got hurt. I got hurt. Sorry. I know it's... I do. I'm just bored and... Bored? Bored! For goodness sakes, you were caught shoplifting! Try reading a book. Try watching TV. I know. You're right. And let's forget for a second how you could have gotten me fired. Let's forget how stealing is cowardly, sneaky, and immoral. Let's concentrate on you. Stealing is against the law, you twit. Mr. Reynolds had every right to call the police.
You think I don't know that? When I was sitting alone in the office, all I could think was, would I have to go to reform school? Will this mess be in the newspaper? Would I have to pick up garbage on the side of the road for community service? Don't look at me like I'm an idiot, Marie. I was scared out of my skin.
I'm sorry if I don't feel too much pity. Actually, I'm kind of glad to see you so upset.
What a pal.
No, seriously. What got me the anger is that you were so cool with this whole thing. Like, none of this had any effect on you.
It does now.
Oh, it's you. Why are you back here? I thought I'd be alone, sneaking out this late. You can't tell anyone you saw me here. Just listen to what I'm about to say, okay? I'm going to find our brother. I've got everything I need. A camera, a flashlight. I'm going to find him, okay? And you can't convince me otherwise, because I can't just keep sitting here day after day doing nothing and feeling so worthless! It's just... everyone has given up on me. Even you, and our parents have decided to move on, but I can't, okay? I can't just leave him. He wouldn't have left me. And I know he's still out there. He has to be. I can't even live in this house anymore because it's so full of his memories. Full of the things that we did together. For crying out loud, I sob when I see our favorite books at the library. Or those books at the zoo we used to like. I feel like I'm going insane, and God, let me go. I have to go. Alone. It's funny, because I really am so tired of being alone.
Okay, why do you have to be so mean to me all the time? You literally treat me like dirt. It's like we're not even sisters. You never want to hang out, and you're always so mean to me, especially when you're with your friends. God forbid I'm even in the same room with you when they stop over. You always tell me to leave. But guess what? It's my house too, and I don't have to go into another room just because you say so! Just because you're older does not make you the boss of me. You're never there for me. Not even as a friend, let alone sister. Seriously. We live together, and you don't know who I am. I genuinely hope that one day you can stop trying to be so cool and let me be a person in your life that you actually care about. Nothing would be cooler to me than that, just so you know.
I've never been to one of these before.
I have.
Yeah?
My grandfather.
Oh.
No, it's okay. He was real old.
I'm sorry.
It's still pretty awful.
Yeah.
My mom. She was devastated.
Was it an accident?
No. He'd been sick for a long time, but you know, it's one thing knowing that it's gonna happen, and it's a whole nother thing when it actually does, you know?
Yeah. Well, no, but I can imagine. This line is really crawling.
I know. There's gotta be, what, 50 people in front of us?
No idea.
Me neither. That's why I came. I was afraid no one would come.
Yeah, me too. I mean, she was always so quiet in class. I guess I just figured she didn't know that many people.
I didn't want her to be...
Alone?
Uh-huh. But... was I wrong? I mean, look at all the people behind us. Go figure.
Barbara?
Yeah?
What's it like?
Well, it's like seeing a doll. A sleeping doll. Have you ever been to a wax museum?
No.
How about a theme park, like Abraham and the House of Presidents?
Yeah.
Well, it's like those mechanical people, except for the movement.
Yeah. Hey, Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
Is it scary?
It's more scary thinking about it than actually seeing it. You know?
Yeah.
I never really got to know her better. I feel like a terrible person.
Barbara, how could we have known? I mean, like, she was always so quiet in class. We weren't friends. You can't be friends with everyone you meet. It's not like we were ever rude
or mean.
To her or anything.
I'm Sophia, and I'll be auditioning for the whole thing.
Doing Uncle Manny's magic trick, huh? Or did you teach him that trick?
You know that answer.
Look, I haven't had my first sip yet. Go easy on me.
It's my birthday.
Yeah, but it's your 12th, not your 13th, so I get one more year before you turn into a teen, and I'm no longer cool.
That ship sailed, Devil. Ship sailed.
So listen, about today.
I know.
It's a Saturday, and people have a lot of things to do.
It's gonna be fine.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing. Jackson and Delilah and Granny are all gonna be here, and pizza coming, and mint chocolate chip ice cream, but...
But what?
Well, you invited almost your whole class, and some of the kids from Brigade, and I ran into Sarah's mom at the mall, and she doesn't think they're gonna make it. And if they do, it's gonna be late, and I just don't want you to get confused.
It's gonna be okay. A lot of people said that they're coming.
So, you want me to order all 15 pizzas?
It's like you don't have faith in me. No, I'm not the most popular kid in school, but I have friends.
What if?
What if what? What if it's just me and my 2 loser friends from childhood and my grandma? Why put that energy into this? Why should that outcome always be so negative? All the time. It's exhausting.
Oh, why did I even sign up for this class? I didn't know we'd have to practice auditioning. This is so unfair. Everybody will be looking at me, judging me. If I do one thing wrong, everybody is going to notice and laugh at me. And I'm going to be so embarrassed. The lights will be beaming in my eyes, and my hands will start shaking like crazy. My throat will get really dry, and I'll stutter like there's no tomorrow. I'll fidget and play with my hair. I'm so nervous. What if I suck? What if I'm horrible? What if people start throwing things at me? Or worse, tell everybody about my performance and how much I sucked. I'll be embarrassed everywhere I go. I'll have no escape. People are always going to remember me as the person who couldn't perform. The person who can't ever talk in front of a crowd. I don't want to do this. I hate performing. If I was confident, I could just stand on that stage and nail it. But I'm not. I'm terrified. In fact, I'm petrified. I would use any excuse in the book to not have to perform. I know what you guys are all thinking. Just pretend to be sick. Well, unfortunately, I've tried that already, and they didn't buy it. Use a doctor's note. Well, I've tried that one too. And, as it turns out, I am not very good at forging signatures. They didn't even buy the dead pet excuse. You know what? Actually, maybe I can do this. I've practiced for hours. I know all my words. All I've got to do is go up there and perform it the way I know I can. The way I've rehearsed it dozens of times in the mirror. And if I do that, I'll be fine. In fact, I'd be better than fine. I'll be amazing. I just have to stay calm and relaxed. And the point is just to have fun, right? I don't have to be the best. I just need to do the best I can. Okay. I can do this. I'm ready. Hey, I can't do this. She's just hovering, Chip. It's not that impressive.
Wow, do you have to undermine everything that I did? You are such a player, Megan.
You're a jerk.
Wow, nice insult, Penny Montana. Got me more touch too.
You know what? You were never a good friend to me, ever. Even when we were little, you used to steal my toys and pour lemonade in my bed and make me be ugly Ashley when we played Barbies.
And now I'm eating your boyfriend. See? Nice and consistent.
Why do you need him, huh? Why do you need the one boy who has ever liked me? You can have anyone, Jennifer. The cutest guy in school, the mailman, a teacher. You could probably even have a huge star like Chad Michael Murray if you wanted to. So why Chip? Why him? Is it because you want to piss me off? Or are you just insecure?
I'm not insecure. God, it's a joke. How could I ever be insecure? I was the snowflake queen.
Yeah, like 2 years ago when you were socially relevant.
I'm still socially relevant.
You were skinny then, too.
I am going to eat your soul and shit it out, Miss Nikki.
I thought you only heard of boys.
I live with girls.
It's been a hard few weeks without you. Me and Luke still haven't gotten used to the house being so quiet. We really miss you. I've been trying to keep a happy face up for Luke, but it's been really hard. He tells me almost every day how much he misses your smile. Last night, before I put him to bed, we started to talk about our favorite memories with you. I'm 17 now. I also had to get up and food. To keep our minds off of you being in the hospital, we started to watch the videos that you made for us on Christmas. I have to go. I need to go pick up Luke from daycare, but I just wanted to say that I love you, and I miss. It's so hard to see you this pale, and it's so scary with all these machines attached to you. I have to get going, but I promise I'll be back here next Thursday.
My dad had this stupid blog that he was really proud of. He's been doing it since before I was born on MySpace or something. You would have thought that he had invented space travel because he would smile from ear to ear every time he went up to make another post. Gotta keep my views up, son, he would say. I told him that no one in their right mind cared about middle-aged running clubs and he should give up posting. And he told me, that's where you're wrong, son. That's where you're so very wrong. When he signed up for the New York Marathon, he had it linked to a GoFundMe page, and it was like he had landed on the moon. Mom said that it was unfair that a guy that fit could just drop dead like that, and I told her that and her friend said it's always the ones that you least expect. And I told her to screw herself in my head, but not out loud, because everyone looks at you really hard when it's your father's funeral. Mom kept holding my hand, saying, thank you for keeping it together. You have to keep us all together. And I was so mad, like, why is it my job to keep everyone together? Mom told me to make a post on the blog telling everyone it happened. They need to know, she said. They're not pen pals, Mom. That's not how it works. They won't care. They'll just think that he gave up blogging for a bit and move on. I rolled my eyes at her, but I kept thinking about it, and a week later, I finally made a post saying, hey guys, John died. Sorry. The next day, there were 2,000 comments.
You have to tell me.
I really don't.
You have to tell me. You can't just dangle a word like that and then shut down.
Like what?
Like disaster.
Oh, come on.
You called it a disaster.
It was.
Just tell the story.
It's bad.
It can't be that bad.
We got into a car accident. Yeah. Thanks.
Well, it doesn't have to be that bad. A little tap, you hit your mirror on the side of the parking lot.
We hit a truck.
You hit a truck. Oh God, is April okay? Are you okay? Well, you seem fine, or else you wouldn't be here. Is April okay? Heck, what about the truck driver? Are they okay? What about the insurance company? Are they okay? Will you calm down?
Well, I was 14 years old. For some reason, my guidance counselor took an interest in me. Who knows what she saw in me, wearing various hand-me-down rugby shirts? But she entered me in a local pageant. She bought me a nice dress and some makeup and everything. She got me all dolled up. It's a silly story. Well, on the night of the pageant, she tried to get my dad there. But of course he wouldn't come. But then I won. And They gave me this tiara. I couldn't believe it. I remember coming home and being so proud. And there was Dad, sitting on his lazy boy, watching something funny on TV because he was laughing. Just really in a good mood. So I waited, patiently, until the commercial. And then I walked up to him, and then I tapped him on the shoulder ever so lightly, just to show him my tiara, crown. And this part I'll never forget. He actually smiled at me. And he touched my face. And he said, "Are you my Miss America? Are you my little Miss Universe?" At that moment, I had his full attention. He was looking right at me. And I remember thinking it was really funny, because I'd never noticed how blue his eyes were before.
An Elvis fan? Gee, I gotta wonder. Dog Ball, when you were choosing a personal hero, don't you think you could have gone with someone who didn't die while pooping? 'Cause that was really want for yourself. I mean, as far as personal heroes go, Elvis was pretty much a disgusting pig. Look, what I say is if you're going for a personal hero, go for someone who's got something you don't. Let me throw out some names. Richard Simmons. At least that way, in a few years from now, you can go on TV with him and talk about how you aerobicized your way back to a girlish size 7. Look! I'm giving it to him straight. Obviously, Mommy and Poppy never took the time, or he wouldn't look like that. I don't want to see the poor lad face down on top of Kentucky Fried, clutching his chest, breathing out his last alone. Disappointed because he didn't get to finish that extra side coleslaw. Jesus! You two are looking at me like you have no idea what I'm talking about. Alright, Memphis, you've got a problem. And as some sort of a graduation present, I am going to deliver to you the solution. Here we go. Pinky's 9-step program. First step, fat, you are. Second step, fat. Third step, obese, rotund, voluptuous, big bone, husky, which brings us all to, guess what? Fat. You won't grow out of it. It isn't baby fat. It isn't a glandular condition. And yes, it is why no girls will look at you. Who wants to 9? Big solution. Eat less. Society hates fat people. I don't care if you have to shove your finger down your throat. If you want to stop being a miserable, horny, rejected loser, get rid of the fat. Cut it off. No, you listen! You turned out to be exactly who I thought you were. I never pretended to be someone else. It was me all along. And it was me who was part for everybody. Look, I didn't come here to yell at you, okay? I know what it feels like to be afraid to show who you are. I was, but not anymore. And the thing is, I don't care what people think about me, because I believe in myself, and I know it's gonna be okay. But even though I have no job and no family and no money for college, it's you that I feel sorry for. Look, I know the guy that sent those emails is somewhere inside of you, but I can't wait for him because waiting for you is like waiting for rain in a drought. Useless and disappointing.
Have you ever seen someone sitting alone, doing nothing? Just a blank mind, completely zoned out from everyone else. Or have seen someone so self-absorbed that the only thing they care about is themselves. I want you to think about the parallels between them. The boy in the front of the class and the girl in the corner. The boy in the front of the class will always laugh and joke and mess around, ignoring how much he bothers others around him. The girl in the corner will stay silent, never saying a word, wishing she were somewhere quiet. But once you take all that away, and they're at home, what happens to them? The boy in the front of the class is all alone now. He doesn't laugh, or joke, or mess around because he doesn't have friends there to build him up. He is alone and lonely. The girl in the corner? She changes for the better. When she gets to be alone, she has freedom. She makes herself laugh. She builds herself up. She doesn't need the noise. She can mess around and not worry about what people might think of her. I used to know them both. I knew the boy in the front of the class and the girl in the corner. I used to be them. I know what it's like to be scared of the unwanted attention, but I also know what it's like to need the eyes on you to feel needed. So don't judge the boy in the front of the class. And don't forget the girl in the corner. You never know what's going on with them after the bell rings.
Remember this practical piece of advice. Never come into the theater with mud on your feet. Leave your dust and your dirt outside. Check your little worries, squabbles, petty difficulties at the door. At this point in our journey, we cannot forget the teachers. Those who helped create a language for actors. Those who have led actors through to better performances, which in turn has led to some of the greatest performances the world has ever seen.
Remember, there are no small roles, only small actors. Acting is in everything but the words.
Love the art in yourself, but not yourself in the art.
Greet everything with yes. Even if you abandon one idea for another, saying yes allows you to move forward.
Great acting is simply being able to inhabit the truth of the character in the given moment. An actor must burn inside with outer ease.
The person you are is 1,000 times more interesting than the best actor you could ever hope to be.
Acting is behaving truthfully under imaginary circumstances.
Keep pace with the present, take a trip to the moon, envision the future.
The actor has to develop his body. The actor has to work on his voice. But the most important thing an actor has to work on is his mind.
Listening is not merely hearing. Listening is reacting. Listening is being affected by what you hear. Listening is active.
As with any great performance, there is great practice and rehearsal. Let us show you the results of our hard work, which will, hopefully, be great performances.
I used to believe I could understand girls. I thought I could always tell what they were saying and always know what they meant. That was a long, long time ago. I've since learned that girls are impossible. No matter how hard I try to dissect what goes on in the mind of a female, it'll forever be a mystery. One day they could want one thing, and the next day change their mind or say something like, "I'm fine," even though they're definitely not fine. What confuses me is girls genuinely think guys can decipher what they say. And I'm like, how do you expect me to know that you want to talk about something when you specifically said to me, "I don't want to talk about it"? Just say that you want to talk about it. It's really not that hard. In my opinion, girls should just say what they mean and not send hidden messages. Please know that guys spend long hours thinking about the thousands of meanings your words could have. Finally, girls need to get the hint that guys don't get their
nuts.
You must be Herman.
Guilty as charged. I look like my profile pic.
You're the only lobster that actually looks like their profile picture.
You look like yours.
I used a little mood lighting. Sue me.
No, you look really nice.
Thank you.
I like your claws.
These little things, I mean, they get the job done, but you got some really nice ones yourself.
I work on them a lot.
There must be a lot of time at the gym.
Gotta put in the effort.
So true.
Oh man, this is great. I can't believe this date's going so well.
I was really nervous. I just kept thinking, what if he attacks me for being in his territory?
I'm a nice lobster.
That's so good to hear.
It's just that
What?
it's been so hard ever since my mom was trapped in a lobster trap, and I thought I'd be trapped in a lobster trap as well, and trap. And it's just that you seem really wonderful.
That is so beautiful.
I think I'm gonna cry.
You could cry. I want to have an emotionally mature relationship.
Yes, especially since,
Since what?
well, I recently just watched this show called Friends, and they say that lobsters fall in love for life, and that they hold claws until they're old. So I was wondering, what if you're my lobster?
I think I am your lobster. Let me just make sure that, the TV show wasn't lying to you.
Television would never lie to us.
Oh. Oh, my.
What's it say?
Oh! Oh my god! Ew!
What's it say about lobsters?
Okay, so when two lobsters fall in love,
Which I think we're totally doing.
right, so when that happens, the female lobster,
Which is you.
she pees on the male's face. And then she leaves, and she comes back the next day.
With flowers and a note of apology.
No, she pees on the male's face again.
Are you serious?
I don't, it's Google, it's not lying.
No, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna fall in love together, and we're gonna be old lobsters, and we're gonna hold claws.
Ew.
What?
I don't think I want to fall in love.
I know, I'm sorry I'm late for work, but you would not believe the morning I've had. Last night I put all my clothes into the washer and the dryer because most of them were dirty, and to my surprise, they all shrunk about 3 sizes. So all I had left to wear was the pajamas that I slept in. So I wore them, as you can see. And then I went outside to get into my car, and the car door would not open. So I put my hands on the freezing glass window and noticed that my keys were inside of my car. So I had no choice but to walk through. And on my way to work, I heard something come by the nearby alley. And I went to go check it out of curiosity. And let me tell you, big mistake. I saw 20 street cats just staring me down. And I tried to back away, but it was too late. About 5 of them started chasing me and started to attack me, and that's why I have all these bruises all over my body, as you can see. So then I thought to myself, how could this morning get any worse? Trust me, it did. I was about a block away from the nearby coffee shop, which is right next to my workplace, and so I decided to get myself a hot coffee. And then I realized, oh my god, I'm so late for work. So I rushed out of the coffee shop, and of course, I spilled it all over my work bag, my pajamas, and my shoes. Everything got soaked. And I tried to clean it off in the bathroom as well as I could, but that's why it's so close. So that's why I'm late for work. It's daylight savings. I'm an hour early. Oh. Never mind. I was a girl in a book, it would all be so easy. Just give up the world happily. I've always been quite content with my family. I don't understand it. Perhaps I was too quick turning him down, Lori. If he asked me again, I think I would say yes. Do you think he'll ask me again? I care more to be loved. I want to be loved. I just feel like women, they have minds and they have souls as well as just hearts. They have ambition and talent as well as just beauty. And I'm so sick of people saying that love is all a woman is fit for. I'm so sick of it. But I'm so wrong.
You stepped over the line!
Miss?
I know. You stepped over the line.
It's Ms.
Okay, sorry, Ms. But,
I meant to step over.
yeah, I kind of figured you did the way you did it. I'll deliver it and kind of like, you're not supposed to do that.
I know, that's why I tried it.
Why?
To see what would happen.
Oh. Well, me, I suppose. I mean, what happens. I'm supposed to come over here as I've done and ask you to please step back. Could you please step back?
And if someone doesn't?
You're not gonna step back?
No. I mean, yeah, I probably will. But for interest's sake, what would you do if?
Jeez, I don't know. I've never had anyone not step back before. I mean, I've only said it like 4 times, but every time they've done it, stepped back.
What if I'm your first? Non-stepper, I mean.
Well, I don't know. I get off in like 10 minutes. I'd probably just stand here and make sure you didn't touch anything.
Really?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I'd let the next shift talk to you, kick you out.
You wouldn't grab me or anything?
No, that's too. Hey, you're not gonna mess up my weekend with this, are you?
I wasn't planning on it, but I'm not totally against it either.
See, if you get all crazy, then I have to write a report, and I'm here till 6:30 easy, and I have a second job to get to.
Tonight? Friday night?
Yep, right after this at the video store.
Why would anyone work 2 jobs on a Friday night?
For money?
Of course. Sorry. Oh, right, that's right. I've seen you in there. You helped me once, I think.
Oh yeah? With what?
Picture of Dorian Gray. You found it in classics, not drama. Some people
remember that. The behind cabaret, the Joel Gray fiasco.
You said you found it with Dirty Dancing once too, or something.
I remember that. You're right. It's funny.
Anyway, you helped me. That was nice.
Thanks. You're not gonna return the favor though? Yeah.
No, sorry. I can't.
Don't you dare walk away from me, and don't tell me you're sorry, and don't tell me to forget it, and don't you dare tell me to let it go! God knows I'd like to. I wish I could, but I can't. I can't forget that we had something and you're running away. You're running away, don't you see, Mark? You're running away from something I've searched for my whole life. Why? Because you're scared? Well, I'm scared too. But you and I, we have something worth fighting for. We can make it work. I'm not saying it would be easy, but I care about you. And I know deep down under this bravado, you care about me too. And that's what it's all about, Mark. Don't you get it? It's the human experience. You can pretend all you want, but you're only lying to yourself. You're denying the simple and wonderful fact that you're emotional and vulnerable and hide. Can you honestly stand there and say that I mean nothing to you? That everything we did was all a lie?
So, my first heartbreak was not a woman, but a Happy Meal. You see, they were giving out Power Rangers and I wanted the blue. And oh, more than the sweet air that I breathed, I wanted to clutch that Ranger in my hands. First time I opened it, I got a pink one. I was a little discouraged, but I knew enough about probability and statistics. You flip a coin, you get head sometimes. Yeah, how about 15 times in a row? Pink, 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 ugh. Finally, I tried another strategy. I went to the manager and I asked if I could switch for a blue one. And he said, well, if we did that for you, we have to do it for everybody. Yeah, right. Finally, I just collected as much money as I could. Nickels, dimes, quarters, anything I could find. And I walked into that McDonald's with a bag so full of change it was ripping at the seams. I plopped it out of the counter. I looked up at the cashier and I said, 1 Happy Meal. Blue. And keep the change. She looked at me and smiled. I figured we had some kind of agreement. She said something about not being able to accept gratuities and didn't take the tip. But she came back with my Happy Meal and I was ecstatic. I opened it up and saw some strange thing staring at me. I said, what in the yellow freak is this? She looked at me and said, Pikachu. Our last one. Everyone wants one. Pika what? What? That sounds like a weird game of hide and seek where you eat somebody after you find them. I may have been the only child ever banned from McDonald's. Who knew a ketchup packet could be such a weapon?
Grant's talking about the rumor going around.
What rumor?
Rocky said you kissed him
When?
at the baseball parade.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Grant said that if you did, he's gonna break up with you.
Rocky's just trying to make him jealous.
So, did you kiss Rocky?
Why would I kiss Rocky?
He's so cute. I'd totally kiss Rocky if he asked me to.
He wouldn't. You're not his type.
Yeah. I'm not Grant's type.
Too bad. He's already taken?
Yeah, too bad. Unless you kissed Rocky.
If anyone kissed Rocky at the parade, it wasn't me.
Actually, it was me.
What? When?
Behind the dugout.
I mean, cheek, lips.
The lips.
You're making that up.
Why would I?
I can't believe he kissed you too.
So you did kiss Rocky at the parade?
Not at the parade. During the after the parade. And I wouldn't have if I knew he kissed you too.
Actually, he didn't.
Then why do you say he did?
Because I promised Grant I'd get the chance. See ya.
Fine. You know what? Be that way. I don't care anymore. I want to say it. Wait. I love you. And I know you don't love me too. I can't help it. Maybe it's your smell, but I can't take it anymore. It's ruining my life. I wake up in the morning in a cold sweat. I have no appetite. I can't concentrate. I am totally unproductive. There are millions of malnourished, HIV-positive orphans in Africa. Millions, and I can do nothing but lie in my bed for hours and stare at the ceiling. It's everything I can think of. I stand in front of the bathroom mirror every morning and I tell myself that you are self-absorbed and whiny and immature and only like social climbing airheads. I tell myself that you kick puppies for fun and nothing works. I feel like I'm having a heart attack every time you speak to me. I know I'm good at hiding it, but I can't anymore. You know I have to get into college. So I need to hear from you, from your own lips, that you and I will never be together. I need you to be an asshole so I can hate you. And I need you to do it now. Because to take the SATs tomorrow.
I want to explain intelligent design, but I'm not very good at explaining things, so I'm just gonna explain it like a mother giving a tour. That's called pretending. Mrs. Cohen says pretending is good for kids, even if it's hard for them to do. I'm going to pretend now. Hello, my name's Abigail. Now, let's start at the beginning. A very good place to start. Who knows what that's from? The sound of music. Everyone here is so smart. In the beginning, there was this big bang, and then Earth, and then man, and here we are. But the reason there was a big bang at all is because of a designer. A designer who made everything happen. And I'm not saying this designer is God or anything, because if I say it's God, people say it's not science, and they get all angry. So it's just a designer. But this designer created time and space and evolution too. But there are things we don't know about evolution, things even our greatest scientists can't figure out. And that's where the designer comes in. Like eyes. Eyes are really, really, really complicated. For eyes to work, certain parts would needed to be made before other parts in exact right order, or we'd all be blind. Now, how could evolution come up with something like that? How could our eyes have just come from a single cell without help from... Okay, I have to stop pretending now. My favorite book is Darwin and the Turtles. It's for kids, but only really smart kids can understand it. I've read it 106 times. If you read Darwin and the Turtles, you would understand that what I've been saying is stupid. Because everything could come from one cell. It would just need to take a really, really long time. And 15 billion years is a really, really, really long time. And some people aren't made like everybody else. Some people are made differently, and kids make fun of them, and what kind of designer would design a person like that? What kind of designer would design a person like that? What kind of designer would design a person like that?
One thing about depression is it kind of collapses time. Suddenly, I'll find my whole days blending into one endless and suffocating loop. I'll try and find the things that make me happy. But slowly, I realize my brain is erasing each and every single one of those memories. I had a therapist one time. He said that these states were waxing late. It brought my mother relief because to her, it meant that in the bad times would be good times. But it also gave her anxiety because it meant in the good times there would be bad times. Slowly, I started to realize what my therapist meant. That these feelings were stiff and fixed and stuck. And that they were not going to go away for the rest of my life.
I always heard that girls went out with guys who reminded them of their fathers. That's why I made double sure never to go near a guy who reminded me of you. Because then I'd end up like my mother, right? Fate. Worse than death. Anyways, I always steer clear from these types of guys for that specific reason. Like this guy, Tommy. I'm like totally sure he's different than you. Then, one day, I go into the pit where he's living, and I see a picture up on the wall. A really lousy picture. A self-portrait. But it scared me. I heard the Twilight Zone music. Because all of a sudden, I'm going along with thinking things are one way when they're really the other. And I'm like, do I really know what's going on in my life? Or am I like a molecule or something? Is this my life or what? You treated my mother like garbage. You cheated on her. You lied to her. When she had money, you took it from her. When you had money, you wouldn't give us any. You walked on her with muddy shoes. And when she was in the hospital, you never visited her. Then one day, she just died. I made the decision a long time ago that I'm not going to think about you anymore and wish you were dead or different, because I don't want your life to be bossed by my life. I mean, I even thought maybe she deserved it, but that's before I knew what I know now. Today, when I saw that picture, it was like a warning. Watch out. Because you never know. You might be in the middle of somebody else's life. And when I went along thinking I could live my life without knowing you, I realize now that it's all just history.
Woohoo! Hello, my name is Red Claw, and I am a villain. It has been 8 days since the last time I committed, felony, and I'm freaking bored. How the hell do people do this? I mean, what's his face? Decapitron has been sober for 5 months, supposedly. I call BS. Is anyone actually following the creep around? Is there some sort of tracking system? How do we know he hasn't fallen off of the evil wagon? Is this seriously some kind of honor code among villains? I don't even know what I'm doing here. I freaking love being a villain. The hours, the respect, working with a team of like-minded individuals, it's bliss. I'm only here because the so-called good guys managed to catch me off guard at a yoga class and slap a taser band on my ankle. See a lot of you nodding. Is that why you're all here too? And Miss Goody Two Shoes is the only non-villain here. Okay, so you do realize that if we were to combine our evil talents, we could get over the whole taser issue and form a league of villains greater than the world has ever seen? Wow. You desperately need me as your leader. All this hero brainwashing has addled your mind beats.
Hi, I saw you from across the street, and I just gotta say, I love your Halloween costume. It looks so realistic. I mean, even the hair and teeth are really authentic. The mask even moves when you talk. Honestly, it's such a convincing werewolf, you'd almost think it's real. Honestly, it's kinda creepy. Looks like you could eat me and my grandma. Get it? Because I'm little red Friday food and her whole story was whatever, you get it. You know, I DIY'd my costume and it took me hours. But it's nowhere as good as yours. This puts mine to shame. This puts everyone's costume to shame. So did you buy it? Or did you do it yourself? I always make my own costume because I'm so creative. But I understand that not everyone is as talented as me. Speaking of which, you should totally enter the costume contest. I bet you win. which sucks for me. But maybe I'll get second. And you know what they say, second is better than first. No one says that.
So, tell me, where'd you get it?
Sorry.
If you tell me where you got your costume, I'll invite you to my Halloween party, which will be like totally cool. But if you don't, you can't come. No, I'm kidding. You can totally come. No, I'm serious. Anyways, where'd you get it? Oh, you're a real werewolf. Whatever, you can still come to my Halloween party.
Stop looking at me like you don't know who I am. I'm the girl who can't bend her arms any further than this. What? You still don't recognize me? Maybe you know my sister. She's tall, blonde, skin as smooth as plastic. My older sister is Barbie. She's an astronaut, teacher, CEO, surgeon, Olympic medalist, dog walker, even president of the United States. How do I compete with that? I might just need to be a professional rollerblader or a lifeguard like my sister's boyfriend, Ken. Everyone thinks Barbie and I are so much alike. But I've never told this to anyone. I hate the color pink. I know. It's almost as shocking as my nail polish color. It might have something to do with that big pink box I was locked up in for months. That thing was so claustrophobic, I could not breathe. I thought I was never going to get out of there. I don't even sound like Barbie. Hi, I'm Barbie. Like, welcome to my dream house. Yeah, I'm Anastasia Roberts, better known as Stacy. It's nice to meet you.
What makes an amazing play or musical so magical?
What makes something so wonderful that it stands the test of time?
Is it the writer, the performer, or the performance?
The 19th and 20th centuries gave us so much amazing material. Art that will never be forgotten. Words that will be emulated by every great actor.
As Sarah Paulson said recently in her Tony's acceptance speech, the theater allows us to bear witness to the relentless interrogation of the human experience that we endeavor to explore nightly for each other.
To give back to one another with the hopes of finding some sort of shared path towards the truth of being alive.
This is the heart and soul of what we do.
We do hope that you've enjoyed our history lesson.
And we hope our troupe of actors has moved you, educated you, inspired you, and left you feeling alive. A round of applause for our troupe of actors.
Everybody give it up for Danny Pintaro, the actor.